Good evening, basketball fans, and welcome back here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network, here on YouTube.com. Again, as always, I'm play-by-play broadcaster Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Back here with our 2025 IHSAA Class 2A Lapel Regional Boys Basketball Tournament Championship Game Preview show here this evening. Just giving you guys a breakdown, per usual, of our matchup coming up there tomorrow evening in the Lapel Regional between your Wapahani Raiders and the Western Boone Stars. And the path to get here, Wapahani with the Sectional 40 victory last Saturday night. Obviously, we had to go through Eastbrook on that previous Tuesday. Then we had to take on a tough Blackford team last Friday evening at their home gym, and then took down Madison Grant there in the Sectional 40 championship game to get to this matchup here between us and Western Boone coming up tomorrow night, 4 p.m. start time. Your Wapahani Raiders will be taking on the Western Boone Stars, again from Lapel High School in Lapel, Indiana, which a venue that we're all too familiar with. We've grown accustomed to throughout all the 14, nearly 15 years we've been broadcasting. So should be a great time. We're expecting a great crowd of all of you Raider fans out there. We're going to hopefully pack Lapel High School and Lapel Gym in a sea of red. And really ready to get that party started coming up there tomorrow night. So during this time, we'll go ahead and again take a look here at Western Boone. We'll go through some of Wapahani's stats. We're not going to go through the player stats because, yet again, you guys know all about them. We need to talk about Western Boone because obviously this isn't a team that we play against, and to be honest with you, there's no common opponents either. So it's not like, we have a little bit of information that we could have gathered from other opponents that we might have played that they also play. That's not the case. So both teams kind of going into this, blind and in some ways because we don't know. We don't know our opponent all that well, except for watching video, and that's what I did. I watched some of the games that Western Boone played, roughly 2 or 3 games. One of those, I believe, was roughly about 3 weeks or so ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. They played against Cascade, which was a pretty above-average team, and so them and Sheridan, like we had talked about, but. Gathered information from that, Max Preps, John Harrell, all that information from there as well. So first we're going to start off here with your Wapahani Raiders, again coming off that Sectional 40 championship victory last Saturday night. The record now 25-1 on the season. Points per game on offense, 62.3. They allow 41.9. They're on the defensive side of the ball. 23.5 rebounds a game, 14.2 assists, 5.9 steals, as well as turning it over at a rate of 5.6 times per game. Field goal percentage, we are 588 of 1,131, good for 52%. From downtown, we are 299 of 632, good for 47%. And then at the old charity stripe, the Raiders are 143 of 180, good for 79%, which I got to tell you, that those 3 numbers just right there are I haven't checked out, where they rank upon the best of the best in the state of Indiana, but they're right up there with the very elite in all 3 of those statistical categories. So Wapahani, we know what they can bring to the table, and they've got to bring it tomorrow evening. We have got to literally leave it all out there, no stone unturned, put all of our cards on the table, all these metaphors. We've got to be able to bring the enthusiasm, the energy, the positivity, and just the overall gameplay that we're accustomed to seeing from these guys. And they've been a great group to watch, be a part of this year. And we're looking to keep things rolling here in the right direction coming up there tomorrow night. So now we're going to take a look here at the Western Boone Stars. They defeated Seeger in the North Montgomery sectional, in which, that was a game that I think that you could definitely say that Western Boone was going to be favored in. They ended up winning that game. I believe it was right around 18 points, 15 to 18 points, somewhere right around in there. But Western Boone 11-14 on the season. As I always say, do not really get caught up in the record. They do play some tougher opponents. I wouldn't say that they play an extremely tough schedule to where it's just unbearable, but they do have some tough opponents sprinkled in here and there. Do I think that they're one of the best teams in the state of Indiana? That's yet to be seen. We'll see tomorrow. I think that as I also allude to a lot of times, what happened even last week, that's in a rearview mirror. That's in the past. The only thing you have to worry about and the only thing that you can control is what happens tomorrow. And Western Boone can be a dangerous team. They've got some very athletic young men that definitely will showcase that coming up there tomorrow night. So Western Boone here on offense averages 54.5 points per game. They allow 53.8 there on the defensive side of the ball. They rebound it at a rate of 24 rebounds per game, 9.8 assists. They recover 7.2 steals per game, but they turn it over at a rate of 12.2 times per ball game. From the field here, the Stars are 487 of 1,122, good for 43%. From beyond the three-point line, they are 115 of 400, good for 29%. And then from the free throw line, they are 273 of 428, good for 64%. Now, again, statistically right there, rebounding about the same as us. When you look at assists, they're a little bit further down from us. We do a really good job of sharing the basketball. Not saying that they don't, but at least statistically anyway. I mean, you're looking at nearly a 4.5 to 5 assist difference between what we do out here at Wapahani and what Western Boone has done so far this year. Steals, right about the same. They do have a slight advantage, which, we'll kind of talk a little bit about that here in just a little bit. But then the turnovers, extremely key facet of the game. Wapahani continues to show why the importance of taking good care of the basketball could really bring out the true outcome of a ball game. Because, you turn a ball over, you're giving the extra team, or the other team extra opportunities. That's one thing you don't want to do. So if you can keep them from having the ball, that's a plus for you. And then hopefully you can make good of those opportunities there on the offensive side of the basketball. But Western Boone, again, they do have the tendency to turn the ball over at a pretty decent rate. I don't think 12.2 is astonishingly bad by any means. I mean, if you can turn the ball over 10 times or less, I think that's pretty darn good in my opinion. So, they're not a team that's going to just, toss it away every possession, but they are turnover prone at times. So, key players to watch for here for the Stars. First and foremost, it's going to be Gavin Hawkins. I believe he's number 3. Averages 14.2 points per game. 4.1 rebounds, 3.2 assists, and 2.4 steals. He's 121 of 246, 49% there from the field, 23 of 76, 40% from beyond a three-point line, and 90 of 129, good for 70% there from the free throw line, which, by the way, that is the best on the team in that statistical category. 5'11" guard. This team is they can be physical. I'm not saying that they're big, burly guys, that are, lifting 400 pounds, at the bench press. But, they are a little physical. There's no doubt about that. But they're quick. And Hawkins is one of those quicker guys. He can shoot the basketball from out, but he does look to dribble, drive, and really attack the rim. That's one of the biggest things about this team. I mean, if you look statistically, again, there from behind the three-point line, Western Boone is not known for their three-point shooting. Not saying that they can't do it, because, again, it only takes one game, so, they might shoot terrible the rest of the time, but tomorrow night, they could go out there and shoot it at a rate of 60, 70%. You just never know. So that's why, again, statistically, it looks favorable for Wapahani, but I would, kind of pump the brakes here a little bit because this is not going to be an easy ball game. So Gavin Hawkins, definitely one to keep mindful or keep a mind on or a close eye on coming up there tomorrow night. Quinn Westerfeld, another young man. He's a 6'3" guard, shoots left-handed, which you don't see a lot of left-handed shooters. So adds a little bit of a different look and a different dynamic, just like what Camden Bell does here for Wapahani. But Quinn Westerfeld averages 13.2 points per game, 5.8 rebounds. He's 127 of 284 from the field, good for 45%. From beyond the three-point line, 20 of 69, 49%. And then he is 55 of 88, 63% from the free throw line. And he is number 10, by the way. Next up here we have Tristan Falk. He is, I believe, number 24 there for Western Boone. Averages 9.4 points per game, 6 rebounds, actually right on the nose, and 2.6 assists. He is 88 of 196, 45% from the field, 32 of 94, 34% from downtown, and 28 of 45, 62% there from the free throw line. A guy that, again, statistically here, shoots at the best from behind the three-point line, at least as far as made threes on the season. Percentage-wise, not so much, but he does. He can knock him down. Again, he's a guy that has the athletic ability to be able to shoot from out, but also to be able to post up down low. He uses a 6'3" frame very well. He rebounds obviously very well. Got to block out. Got to get a hand in the face. I think if we do, just those simple things right there, then we're going to make things very difficult there on Tristan Falk. And then lastly here, we've got number 1 here. It's Marcus Fortner. Averages 9.1 points per game, 4.3 rebounds. Now, this is in 20 games, so there is, a little bit of a difference between 20 and 25, obviously, statistically. But Fortner there has played here of late, and he's really helped this Western Boone basketball team. He's 66 of 143, 46% from the field. He is also 6 of 26, 33% from downtown, and 44 of 69, 64% there from the free throw line is Marcus Fortner. So, again, just a quick recap here. Gavin Hawkins, Quinn Westerfeld, as well as Tristan Falk and Marcus Fortner. Those are the 4 guys that I would, like I said, keep a very close eye on. Be mindful of, when you're going into the ball game tomorrow and watching warm-ups, things like that. Those are the guys that I would really keep a close eye on. They have a couple other guys. Number 5, I can't. His name is slipping away here, but he's a guy that comes off the bench. He can provide some good minutes. Not a guy that's going to score a lot of points. He's like right around 3 points a game. But he can knock a couple 3-pointers down here and there as well. But these are the main guys that I would really pay very close attention to when it comes there to tomorrow night's ball game. Now, as I mentioned earlier, took a look here at some video. I didn't go through and look at 5 to 10 games worth. As I mentioned, we looked at about 2 or 3 games worth of footage here for Western Boone, just to have really an idea of who we're going up against, because we don't know anything about them other than what we have statistically right here. At least here from the information I gathered and the video footage, when you look here at the Stars, they play some man-to-man defense, also some 1-2-2, which that is a 1-2-2 defense is when you have a guy here at the top of the key, and then you have 2 guys at the high post, 2 guys on the low block area. Then they, if the ball gets swung to the wing, then that reverts into a 2-3 zone. They try to trap the ball, work it back around, then they'll get back into the 1-2-2 defense again. So at least, from the very small sample size that I looked at, and I know that Redbeard looked at as well, that's what we took in. That's what we seen from them defensively. So Wapahani's got to be very aggressive, really attack the rim every single time down. Now, again, that's a lot easier said than done. I think, again, if we can somehow be able to continue to be very quick, very swift with our passes, be decisive, but also being smart like we normally are, then I think that that we'll be all right. I think that we definitely are going to have to really look to the middle. I would definitely look to see if maybe a Brock Zitgraf or Eli Andrews, Camden Bell, I don't care who it is, Logan Wolf, Leighton Spence, whoever's in the ball game, being able to either work the ball to the middle or be in the middle as one of those guys that can receive that pass and then look to work your way down. And then I'm telling you, at least from what I've seen, when teams have done that, that defense has collapsed, and it's collapsed pretty drastically right there, and it's left some guys open outside. And obviously, if we're going good, you don't want to leave us open from downtown. So that could be a big problem for Western Boone tomorrow, potentially. Next thing here, also Western Boone, as I mentioned earlier, they're quick, they're physical, kind of scrappy. Again, they recover 7.2 steals per game. They're not some big dominating team, as I had mentioned earlier. I mean, yes, they do have some tall guys, but again, they're not. They don't have guys that are just, that pops out at you. That really, has a physical appearance of, what, that guy right there, I wouldn't want to mess with him. Nothing like that. But, yes, they are physical, they are quick, they are scrappy, and we've got to be mindful of that, and we've got to adjust our game a little bit according to that. But I think that, one of the biggest things here for Western Boone is that, their quickness, being able to move their feet, they have quick hands, guys that, again, a lot like what we've seen with Blackford a little bit, with kind of reaching around and tipping the ball out of the, from behind, out of the hands of Wapahani players. I think, you could see a little bit more of that, just like we did there against Blackford. Now, again, they might completely change up their game plan. Who knows? That's just from what we've seen here from the Stars in some other games that we had watched. And then last couple things here on offense. Occasionally they do like to run a couple backdoor sets. So they like to work that mid to high post area there with Tristan Falk. And I noticed this, I don't know, at least 4 or 5 times per game that from each of the 2 to 3 games that I watched, where they'll have a guy either in a corner on the wing and look for that back cut action right there. Falk will just kind of dump it right down there to him, and it'll be a nice easy 2 pretty much darn near every time. So Wapahani's, we've got to keep guys in front, but you got to keep our head on a swivel and make sure to take those opportunities away from them. And then lastly here, they are a very active team, very aggressive. As I mentioned, they like to go to the rim quite a bit, but they do like to take that 3-point shot. They don't always like to be, run and gun, or where, they're driving it right down your throat here. They do like to, just kind of work the ball out a little bit more, take those 3-point shots with like Hawkins, with Westerfield, with Falk, again, just to name a few. So, again, they're not going to go out there and at least in other games in the past, they haven't been known to shoot the lights out of the gym. But, again, you get to this time of the year, anything can happen. That's why you can never overlook any team. So, just don't pay attention. Don't pay attention to what the record is, so to speak. Just worry about the game tomorrow. I think that's, I know that might sound very cliche, and some people might think, well, that's ridiculous. Well, it is what it is. I think that, any given day, anybody can be beaten. We can go out there and beat them. They can beat us. You don't know until you play. But we have got to go out there with a sense of urgency, the way that these guys always play. And as we mention all the time as well, they're such a fun group to watch. They play the game the right way. They play hard, and they play together. It's a family atmosphere, and that's the same style of play that we have to play with tomorrow. And not to mention the fact that, it'd be nice if we can really click on all cylinders there on the offensive side, but we've got to bring the pressure defensively. We've got to make it known that we're there, and we're there to win, regardless of what the records might be. they're another tough opponent that that the Raiders are looking to take down and move on to the next round. Because at the end of the day, it's about winning. That's it. We're not here to to boost one's stats or to make one person look good and make the other one not look good. We're about the same common cause, and that's winning the ball game and moving on and advancing in the state tournament. And both of these teams have that on their mind coming up tomorrow night. Wapahoney and Western Boone again from Lapel High School. They're in Lapel, Indiana, 4 p.m. start time. Again, you can catch that right here on the WHS network. You'll have the website coming down here on the bottom part of your screen here in just a moment. But again, this website coming up here in just a moment, that is the only website that you can watch our games from. And I say that, so many times, and then I get a lot of people that will somehow get on YouTube and expect to watch the game on there. And it's like, our game, the state tournament games aren't on our YouTube channel. So they're on our IHSAA channel again. All state tournament action right there. Again, that's going to come up right here on your screen right now. So again, the website that you see on this screen is the only website that you can watch our broadcast. Now, if you want to watch someone else broadcast it, well, that's not possible because no one else is covering the game. So there's a radio station, and then there's us. So you're stuck with us regardless, but that's the website to go to. Everything's free. There's no cost whatsoever. But if you guys can come on out to Lapel and join us, like I said, we're going to pack that place in the sea of red, and we're looking forward to watching your Wapahoney Raiders take down the Western Boone Stars coming up there at 4 p.m. there tomorrow night from Lapel High School. So we hope that you guys kind of take a little bit away here. I know that I'm talking and rambling on, but this is important stuff. It means a lot to us, means a lot to Redbeard and a lot of people. Our fans, our community, and obviously our players and coaches and families. And so we want to give as much information as I possibly can and get as much statistics out there as well that you guys can kind of chew on for the next 24 hours or so. But at the end of the day, we're geared up and we're ready for tomorrow night. Regional action coming up there from Lapel High School. We hope to see you all there. And until next time, again, I'm Brandon Morvillius alongside cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. We'll see you all back here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.